What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recaff, and let's put some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. It's here. The Heresy is my therapy. Slapchop tutorials. Today we are going to be doing, well, the heroes of mankind. The real, well, they're not the Space Marines, that's for sure. It's of course, the Imperial Guard, the Astra Militarum, the humble Cadian Shock Trooper. As always, everything you need will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay then, folks, here we go. We're going to be taking a bit of a different approach today on how we do this. We're going to start off almost like a bit of a 2.0 Slapchop series, where we are going to put a bit of a pre-base on. So we're going to use Rhinox hide, give it a bit of a shake off, get it onto my pallet. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Onto my pallet, let the wet pallet do its job. And all we're going to do is we are just going to, on the armour, basically everything but the weapon, we're going to apply, right now we'll do the whole lot. We're going to apply just a thin layer of Rhinox hide over the whole model. And this is going to change the way the kind of model shapes out, especially in the creases, because we'll be using a brown. There's a lot of neutral colours that we're going to use for this young Cadian trooper. So we just want to get a nice thin layer of brown into the model using Rhinox hide. So it's quite a nice brown we can use. So like I say, get it all in there. 2 thin coats just over the model. Duncan Rhodes it. Absolutely everywhere. Face, helmet. Yeah, weapon, why not? It won't really make too much difference there, but yeah, get it all over the model. So you've got a very nice thin layer that's mainly sitting in the recesses. Right, so there we are. You can so there we are. You can see we've got a bit of a nice thin brown sort of under paint there. All we're going to do, like I say, this is kind of just, it's kind of a new way that we're developing the Slapchop, and there'll be a new, like a 2.0 Slapchop on here. But anyway, we've decided to put a brown underneath there. It might just change the way the colour hue is a little bit nicer when we start to put on some more of the colours. And we might even change up some of the other bits and pieces, like how we've been doing some of the parchment, but we'll see. We'll test it out. We'll play around with it. So after this, all we're going to do, we're going to use our usual 4 shade system. We're going to use the Army Painter Master Class dry brush, the medium, and of course we're going to need our small one as well for the initial 4-stage dry brush. All right. So as always, Mechanicus standard grey, Administratum grey, Ulthuan grey, and of course our white scar. We've got our sort of our paper to kind of create that sort of dabbing effect, and that's what we're going to do here. All right, so our model should be nice and dry now, which I think it is. I'm going to get my Mechanicus standard grey, give it a bit of a shake, and of course brush, yeah, plenty on there. And we're just going to take it all off best we can. And then as always, we're just going to get that all over the model. To be honest with you, you could probably start with a smaller dry brush if you really wanted to. But, you know, this would be fine. All right. Oh, yeah, That's done that quite nicely, pretty quickly, isn't it? And you'll just see the brown, you will see the brown hue underneath, which is, quite ideal, really. So it will just help out with the colours. But again, nice and quickly, all in there. Right, just in there, doing its thing. Getting it all underneath there. Underneath it all. And there we are. Cool. There we go. Okay, wash that off, give it a bit of a clean down. And then we're going to take our smaller dry brush, our Masterclass miniature dry brush, and we're going to start to apply our Administratum grey. Same again, just into the paper, take it all off. All I'm looking to do is now just dabbing effect, just all over the model. Starting to reach those highlighted areas. The old dab and stab, stippling if you will. I quite like dab and stab, as I mentioned in the previous videos. You can small circle it as well. We can start to get a little bit in the shadows. To the face, weapon, under areas. But again, we're just making it a little bit lighter. Okay, just really getting that on there. Like I say, you really see this take shape as you're stippling away. Dab and stab, stipple, whatever you want to call it. So then we've got our second layer. Yeah, it's just on quite nicely there. More than enough. Okay, more than enough. Next up, Ulthuan grey. Shake it up. Same again, another routine. Proper dab and stab. Again, take it all off. Take it all off. And all we're going to do again, we're just from the top. Now we're starting to pick out all the light. Okay, we're really starting to pick out all the light here from the sides. We don't need to go into any sort of the under areas to create any shadows. Sorry, to pick up the shadows. We're going to let the contrast do its job there. Just dabbing away, dabbing, stabbing, whatever you want to call it. Stab and dab, I like it. Stippling. Yep, letting the brush create the natural highlights. Edge highlighting's nice, but I think this gives it a bit more of a natural look. But that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. Alright. I'm going to take Ulthuan, put it in there. Then we'll take Ulthuan grey again. We'll do the exact same thing, but we're just going to maybe just go a little bit not heavier with the stippling, but we're definitely going to try and just make it a bit brighter. Okay, so just where the kind of light naturally goes into the model, that's where we're going to try and pick up. And if you're having to turn the model over, it doesn't really feel like the light's going to be catching it, alright? So this technique, we're allowing the shadows to kind of form naturally, by themselves. Yeah, nice. So yeah, just again, if your brush can get to it, without having to angle or go up and down, it's a bit of a winner. So yeah, alright. Cool, done. Right, finally. Oh, yeah. And then obviously finally our white scar. Same again, we're literally going to leave the model where it is in play. Leave the model where it is in play. Don't forget, once you've been doing all this dry brushing, make sure you give your brush a good old clean. Alright, give it some tender love that it deserves. Anyway, so again, from the top, just all around the tops, just stab, dab and stab, bit of a twist in there. But again, you know, we're just where the light would fall. Where the light would fall. No, not loads of pressure, just enough to help create those natural highlights. Happy with that? There you go. So there he is, ready to go. Ready to go. Right. So yeah, there he is, in all of his glory. Ready to do his part for the Emperor. Right, first things first, like I said, we try and work light to dark with this. So I'm going to use Skeleton Horde. Okay, Skeleton Horde, just into the wet palette. And we're going to apply this pretty much straight on. There's no need to get our, what's this here? Technical Lahmian Medium. We'll use that later on. But for the time being, we're just going to use our Skeleton Horde. And we're just going to get all of the areas to which you would expect to see that Zandri Dust, that khaki, light khaki colours. Okay, so we're going to get into the trousers. Okay, into the trousers, into the coat, into his jacket. Okay, so into his jacket, his fatigues, if you will, into his fatigues. Okay, so into his fatigues. And again with this, you know, you can go a couple of layers, you know, play around with it, you know, see how you feel. You know, that brown that's underneath will help this. So the black, if we had this in black, you would notice a lot more. It just wouldn't work. I mean, I've done one before, and it was fine, but I did it all black. But the brown base just kind of helps, just make that Skeleton Horde shine quite nicely, or pop, not shine, but you know, come through quite nicely. So yes, so all of his fatigues into his shirt, just here. There's a little bit of shirt just in there. All right, a little bit of his shirt in there. Okay, in there, around this side. And again, you know, feel free to go over it a couple of times so that you get a nice, you know, a nice obvious effect. Okay, within the clothes. So get into his collars. You know, make sure you get into those fatigues. All right. Okay, there we go. Skeleton Horde applied a couple of times. You know, a good couple of layers just to build it up nicely. And I think that's definitely turned out all right there, I think. Like I say, once you're applying it, you'll really see what's going on with it. The next one we're going to use Creed Camo. Okay, Creed Camo. Again, what we're going to probably do with this is we're going to add probably 2 or 3 parts Creed Camo, and then we're going to get our Lahmian Medium just onto our palette. Lahmian Medium, and then one couple of parts there, maybe 2 parts. All right, Lahmian Medium and Camo, Creed Camo. I just want to point out I am using the smaller STC brush. So this time we're going to get into his armour work. Okay, and again, thin versions first. Move the paint around. Okay, move the paint around. Thin layers first. And then you can just build. Alright? Don't let it pool. So into the shoulder pads. Into his chest plate. Helmet. Getting amongst the helmet. And again, you're going to want to build on the layers for this. Okay? Build the layers. Build the layers. Yep, so like I say, we just build up to get a nice consistency on there. And as you can see, because of the way we've prepped the model, it already comes in quite nice. Knee pads as well. I'm going to get those knee pads. Okay, knee pads. And you know what? I think we should probably do the weapon. Yeah, let's get the weapon on there looking green. That we're going to give a bit of a... We could have done like a Vietnam type colouring, but we'll just get the weapon green. Shoulder pads as well. And realistically, I would argue probably get some of his backpack in there as well. Alright? Backpack. Shoulder pads. Chest. Helmet. Weapon. Knee pads. Alright? Yeah. Like I say, build the colours. So just build it up. You know, keep mixing the Lahmian Medium, whatever it's called. And yeah, keep building that up. Bit by bit. Do you know what, I might actually go back. Yeah, keep building that up, bit by bit. You know, thin layers. Just build up that colour scheme. Okay? Right. As you can see, that's the green on. It's all starting to come together rather nicely. Okay, so next up we need to put in, we need to start putting in our browns. So we're going to get our good old Gor Grunta Fur. Classic. Same again, we're just going to put it on our palette. Good couple of layers in. Okay. Water off. Bit of Lahmian Medium. Lahmian Medium into the mix. And again, same again. We're going to go into all the webbing work, the rest of the pack, some of the pockets and stuff. Okay. So let's go with, we're going to start off with the boots. Again, nice and the gaiters, if you will, of the boots. So the gaiters of the boots. Here's going on there. Start getting the gaiters in. And again, you know, we can build up a couple of these, but we are going to go over this with good old Cygor Brown. Okay, yeah, we're just putting it in there, getting it round. Again, don't let it pool. Just build it all up. As we keep saying, okay, see where it's pooling here? Need to move all that round. Get it into this, into his roll mat on top. Getting into his roll mat. Into the straps, into his webbing straps. Okay. And again, we're just going to build up all of these colours. That's what we want to do. We're just building them all up. Again, it's not taking very long. No, it's not very time consuming. Again, pouches. The rest of the day sack, so you know, his sleeping bag, his roll mat on top. Okay, we get that done. Straps, and then we're going to get all of his webbing belt done as well. We'll leave the water bottle because we'll paint that black. And again, a couple of layers, just to build it all up. Okay, so again, a couple of layers. Leave that grenade there because we'll get that grenade in a minute. So just in amongst his webbing kit, his belt kit, his straps. Yeah, all of his straps. Okay, there we go, yeah, nice. Roll mat on top. Belt kit. Gaiters. Just keep building it up, bit by bit by bit. Alright? Just keep building it up. Okay? Okay, we've done that. So now we're going to put some, all we're going to do, we're going to really thin down, again, Lahmian Medium, into our Gor Grunta Fur. Gor Grunta Fur, yeah. And all we're going to do, and I mean just really delicately, just into some of the recesses over the fatigues. Kind of gives it a bit of a camo look. Or just adds a little bit of depth into the model, alright? Just into some of those little recesses. Just throw it in, and as you're doing it, you'll see it. Just gives it a little bit more depth and edge. Helps the base that we put in earlier just kind of shine, pop through a little bit. Alright, which is almost like a glaze, but it will sit nicely into the recesses. Alright, it'll just sit nicely into the recesses, and when we come back to do our Zandri Dust highlight, again that will just give it a little bit of texture to it. But again, no edge highlights required. Just using contrast paints to do their job. Okay, cool. Right, next up, gonna get the old Cygor Brown. Remember, we will need our Lahmian Medium for this again. So again, a little bit of Lahmian Medium just in the palette. Okay, just in the palette, and then boop. And you can see that's such a dark brown. And you want a nice thin consistency. Nice thin consistency. All we're going to do is just start to get into those areas. Just to darken that Cygor, that Gor Grunta Fur. And again, we can just get in amongst the boots. Just round the back, just really just letting it fall like almost like an Agrax Earthshade, but not better, that's not the right term I'd use for it, but differently. It just sits in those recesses and does the job of the contrast paint, allowing the Gor Grunta Fur to do its job. As you can see, we're starting to get that sort of effect of the model of how we want it to look. But again, we're just little bits. Let that Cygor Brown do its job. So we're just going to into the straps, a bit darker into the straps. Yeah, a bit darker into the straps. Straps across here, across the back part. Going to get those all done. So again, nice bit of variation. But we're just getting the straps all nice and dark there. And then, as we usually do for any of the belt kit that we've been using, like for our Space Marines and stuff, we're just going to put a little bit into these here, just to darken them a little bit. Add a bit of fatigue into them, a bit more of a leathery look. Yeah, and again, just a bit more on, brush off, Lahmian Medium on, just mix it down. Okay, mix it down, twizzle off the brush, and again, just feed it into those areas on the strap, down the lines. Don't go near the edges. Let the Gor Grunta Fur do its job. Yeah, I like the underneath there. Into the strap across the back. Little tiny bits just into the webbing underneath. Yeah, into the webbing here, into the belt. Again, you're not really going to see it because it's in those shadows. But again, it just looks, just kind of really gives that very army-esque looking colour scheme, doesn't it? There we go. So we'll probably, I'll tell you what we'll do. Like I say, we'll make all this silver. Get that looking silver. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to give that a bit of a green handle. And I'm going to use, where is it? Oh no, I seem to have misplaced it. That's not ideal. Where's my Dark Angel's green? He says, looking around for it. Black Templar. Dark Angel's green. Dark Angel's green. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll just Dark Angel's green. And we are going to apply this as is onto the shovel and the shovel handle. And then we will use some silver to kind of give it a bit of a chipped paint effect. All right. So his entrenching tool, if you will. Entrenching tool on. And we will add some silver into that just to make it like he's a bit weathered. We'll do that in a bit. And again, on the handle, like I've got a bit of a rubber handle on there. There we go, that's quite cool. Right, yep, cool. There we go. Let's get some grenades done. So we're going to use our classic warp lightning, and again, pretty much straight on. Into the wet pallet, find your grenades. There's lots of different greens here, but I think they look great. Camo, Creed camo, warp lightning, dark angels, but they all bring their own hue to the setup, which is nice. So grenade in there, and there's a little grenade under here. This young trooper, ready for action. You know, ready for action. Yeah, coolio. Practically done. Okay, now we're going to get our Black Templar, which I've got here, good to go. And all I'm going to do is just tidy up a few little areas. So Black Templar on, and yeah, we're going to use some. Am I even saying this right? Lahmian Medium. Lahmian Medium into our Black Templar just to allow us to build up the colours. Just to allow us to build up those colours. So boots, obviously, as we were calling the old black taxis. The Black Templar in there to get him from A to B. And again, we're just going to build that up bit by bit. Yeah, I'm going to rush it on. This is great if you've got like loads of models here, because you can just, you know, work your way through it as each layer starts to dry off. Yeah, so just in here, boots, all done. And then his water bottle, just in here. Yeah, get that. His canteen, if you will, if you're American. So get that in there, his little canteen, just at the back. And like I say, just building up that black. What else are we going to go? We've got the butt of the weapon. Just in here, we're going to get just a little bit of black in there. And again, just at the, in between the weapon system at the muzzle end, we'll just add a little bit in there. I don't really think we need to add too much more. You can, yeah, we'll just darken that centre bit. That'll probably go silver anyway. A little bit in there. Okay, easy as that. Cool. There you go. He's almost done. Almost done. I think it's now time for us to. Oh, I'll tell you what we haven't done. We haven't based him, have we? We haven't based him. So yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get some Sterland Mud for his base and create a bit of a Vietnam look about him. Sterland Mud, I'll usually use here. There we go. Bit of Sterland Mud. Bit of a wetter palette, wetter brush. Slightly damp. And just throw it all in there. Probably should have done this earlier on. I did it again, didn't I? Bloody hell, did it again. So yeah, Sterland Mud onto the base. You can make it a little bit messy, it doesn't matter. It's going to be muddy. He's having a bad day in the fields. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, get your base on. Whichever one you use, like I say, I'm using Sterland Mud. You can use whatever you want to use. Just have a bit of fun with it. You know, go wild. I'm sure you probably got a colour scheme or a base theme in mind. I'm going to kind of go with a bit of a, not a jungle, but a bit of a forestry bush kind of look, a little bit of a Vietnam style. Naturally Fortunate Son playing in the background as he's heading off to go and liberate somewhere. But yeah, there we go. Let's let that dry now. Okay, right. So we've got all our main colours on, and now it's time to, that's all dried nicely, as we'd hoped it to. So now, I don't need that there. Now it's time to get our Zandri Dust and start to apply that magic. Yeah, get it all on there. Of course, as always, we just take it all off. Take it all off. Just a little bit onto our paper. And all we're doing, as we did before, feathered touch all over the model. Nice and light. Nothing wild. Just nice and easy. All over the model. Okay, getting into that base. Just get all over the model. Okay, reload the brush. Take loads of it off. Take loads of it off. Get the remainder off from our sort of texture paper. And again, we're just nice and light, nice and easy. We're just literally feathering this on. Feather it on. You'll just start to see those highlights coming in. And that kind of matted, not camo-y, but just matted, neutral, Cadian look. Weathered almost. You know, weathered. Yeah, weathered, that's about right. Weathered. It just gives a bit more of a rugged, natural, weathered look across the entirety of that model. There you go. Nothing wild, like I say. Nothing too wild, but you can see the colours of the model just really shine. As I get into the shadows a little bit, try and just get everywhere where you can. Okay. And then we'll just we'll get on that base. Same again. Brush it on, and you can be a bit looser with it because you're only going onto the base. You just get that on there. like so, into that base in there. Just get it all in, dry brush it all on. And then all we're going to do with that, so get it all on there. It's fine, it's lovely, dirty. I'm going to grab our Agrex Earth Shade. Agrex Earth Shade. And we're just going to apply a real thin layer Agrex Earth Shade. So, Agrex Earth Shade, bit of water. And again, we're just going to get that all in amongst the base. Those natural highlights should just pop through. But again, just create a nice little bit of contrast. A nice almost muddy-esque look. So we're going to move on to I'm going to get some skin, I'm going to get the silver. So, skin, I'm going to use, it's a bit of a different one, a bit of a different sort of look, but nevertheless it turns out rather nicely. So, here we are. First of all, you're going to want your Cygor Fur. Cygor Fur. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply Cygor Fur. Again, you want to just water this down ever so slightly. Thin it down. So I'm going to want you to go into the hands and forearms. Okay, hands and forearms. Hands and forearms. Face. Okay, into the face. Right, so Cygor Fur. Into the hands. Into the face. Into the forearms. Thin layers. Just slowly build that up. Alright, this by means is no way an expert way to paint skin, but I just found this is a nice easy way to paint it. Alright, that one done. We're then going to use our Cadian Flesh Tone. And just kind of bang it into that mix. Okay, you just kind of want to just cover that mix up a little bit. Alright, you need to water it down on the wet palette. That wet palette's going to do the job just fine. Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're just going to start to build on top of that. Okay, we're just building on it. Like we did before with the light. Just get into the areas where the light's top. Create its own nice little bit of shadow in there. Fingers. Just starting to get the fingers. Top of the forearm. Hands. Just getting those hands. Just starting to build up. Just building up the colour. Just building up the pigmentation. Again, keep the brush wet. Back to the palette. And then same again for the face. Just nice and easy. Just starting to pick out the features of the face. Again, this isn't like an expert way of painting, so if you've got your own way of painting faces, please, don't need to follow my way, that's for sure. I'm more of a Slapchop kind of guy, but skin I like to take a bit more time with. That makes sense. Alright, so that goes in there like that. Just a little bit of, because we're going to let the Guilliman flesh tone do its job in a second. And like I say, just build up those colours. So yep, we're going to take our, where is he? Guilliman flesh. Shake, rattle and roll. And again, just a little bit onto the pallet. And then just straight on. So again, this will just do its job. This will just do its job. It will just get into the creases. It will just separate those colours really, really nicely. Yeah, flesh tone in. Let it do its job. To the hands, forearms, and of course, straight into the face. Yeah, straight into the face. Easy enough. I'm then going to take the original mix that we had. So the original mix that we had, and all I'm doing is just ever so slightly, just back over the top after that Guilliman flesh has dried. Just over some of the areas you might have missed. Knuckles, tops. Starting to create that bit of highlight. Okay, a little bit in the face again, just again, like I say, with that Guilliman flesh. Just giving it a little bit of a highlight. Again, nothing too wild. It's quite grim and it's quite dark. This poor trooper's probably marching on, going off to fight some, well, God knows what. And a bit more on those tops there. Alright. Sorry. And finally, we're just going to grab our Agrax Earthshade, wherever that's gone. Oh God, this is embarrassing. There it is. Agrax Earthshade. All we're going to do, just ever so slightly, just into the creases of the eyes. Just to create a bit of a shadow where the helmet is. And then into the mouth. Again, just a bit of separation. Okay. And then finally, our Kislev flesh. And where we've gone into that mix, we're just going to do the same again. In there. Into that mix. Keep the brush wet. Obviously lick your paintbrush, obviously. And then just take it off your finger. And then just start again on the top. Start to kind of just move it all in. Just on the tops. Okay, on the tops. Just to create that sort of that classic natural highlight look. But again, just the tops. Highlight the key area, so the knuckles into the fingers, wrist joint, tops of the forearm. Okay, same again here. Fingers. Just giving those fingers a little bit of texture, balance. Thumb on the weapon. Yep. Forearm. Yep, forearm. The finger, and then again, all we're doing is just really neatly. Again, nothing wild, we're just popping that bit of flesh tone on the areas of the face that we can see. Slowly building it up. Okay. Nothing mental, nothing wild. Just a very easy paint job. All right? Very, very easy. Nothing wild. Keep it simple, keep it safe. Okay? Jeepers. Okay, finally now we're just going to put the Iron Warriors on the silver. So again, onto our palette. Little bit, and I mean just a little bit of water. The wet palette will do most of the work for us, to be honest. And all we need to do is just the crest. And just get the crest. We'll come back to those. All depends on what you want. You know, we can paint this part here silver of the weapon. You know, we can just pop a little bit of silver in there. Guardsmen are dirty, rifles are clean, as it were. I'm sure some of you out there will get the reference. And again, on his canteen, you know, we've got that little bit of silver just in there. Okay, a little bit of silver just in there. Okay, in there. And where else? Oh yeah, cannot forget his helmet. Can't forget his helmet. Same again, just into the helmet. Nice and simple, nothing wild. Easy pickings, and then this grenade on the side, we'll just paint that silver. It's an easy win, easy win. I'll put a bit of a smoke grenade, so we'll just paint that silver. Easy enough, innit? Easy enough. Come, guardsman. Cool. Then, with that, all we're going to do, oh yeah, so next I'm going to grab my dry brush, pop a little bit of silver on there, take a lot of it off. All I'm going to do is just on the spade is a trenching tool. Just a little bit of silver in there, just to kind of get a bit of a rusted look that's been used. If you don't like doing that, just take a really, really, really small brush. Take your silver again. Really, really, really lightly. And all you're going to do is just on the corners, start to just chip away in the areas that would have been used. So it's not like an edge highlight, you're just kind of flicking down the model just ever so slightly. It's a minute detail, but you know, it's one that I quite like. Cool. Next up, you know it, we're going to use back to our small airbrush. We're going to grab our Nuln Oil, our liquid talent. And all I'm going to do, again, straight from the pot, I'm just going to put a little bit into the entrenching tool. Not because it's got rushes, because I want to just darken it a little bit, especially between the handle. Again, just a little bit in the handle as well, just to kind of darken it a little bit up. All right, just adds a little bit of depth to the model. And again, we're just going to all the silver areas, just ever so lightly, all the silver, just brushing into it. Same again, all the silver, just get that Nuln Oil just deepened into it. All right, just to give it some depth. Okay, that's all we're doing. Oh, where's all this silver come from? Big pot there, go. Again, yeah, all in the silver, we're just Nuln Oil in. Where else? There. Got into there. Of course, into the weapon. Okay. Cool. Done. And that, my friends. Well, actually, my apologies. We get our Stormhost Silver. Stormhost Silver. Jeepers, that's not ideal. I tell you what, my my paint pot maintenance is horrendous. And again, just into that original mix. Into the original mix of Iron Warriors. And again, we're just going to really, ever so slightly, we're just going to pop a little bit of a highlight. Again, from the tops. Almost essence just dry brushing over it. That makes sense. Over those little bits. Again, teeny tiny little bit in there. And then if you want to, you can just really give it a little bit of a, you can really give the brush a bit of a weathered look. Alright. Let's get a bit of a weathered look there. Nice. Cool. And there he is. Pretty much done. And now, as always, we skip to the part where the base is done. Again, you've got your own bases, I'm sure, no doubt. So yeah, let's get to that bit now. Okay, there he is. All done. Like I said, I've given a bit of a rubbly, like shrubbery Vietnamese type base. So under the light, there he is. All done. Easy scheme to follow. Nothing too wild. With a fair bit of like natural sort of colours on the model. Well, hopefully guys, you found this video useful. If you have, give us a thumbs up, leave a little comment below, and as always, I hope you found this video useful, and yeah, see you on the next one guys, signing off for now, bye bye.